Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I want to come on here this morning and have a very sincere, heartfelt talk with each one of you out there that choose to watch this video. And no doubt it's your choice and your decision. Some of you may make it all the way through. Some of you may not. Some of you may have the intestinal fortitude, the stomach, and the maturity to be able to endure the stark realities that I'm going to be speaking about here. Some may not. Some of you will get it, understand, conform, and change. Some of you will be offended, kick the traces, and say that I don't ever want to hear another thing from this man again. Either way it goes, it's your choice. You are responsible for your choices, and you're responsible for your decisions in life, you and you alone. But just remember this. Every choice and every decision that you make in life, not only does it affect you, but it affects others that are around. But I'm going to be very candid. I'm not going to speak in riddles or terms. I want you to understand that I'm going to be telling what I believe to be and know to be through experience the truth. So I am not trying to gain you. I am not trying to garner favor with you. I am putting out information for you to consider, because I know that many of you probably would never consider it at all unless a video like this is made. So hear me if you can. And if you choose not to hear me, again, that's your prerogative. It's none of my business. I've heard it said many, many times before, especially in the environment of the assembly that we have, that when crap hits the fan, we're coming to your place, Pastor Dow. Or I've heard people insinuate that they're coming to, or they're going to go to some of the other fellowships that we have scattered across this country. And usually myself and the people who are the heads of these assemblies or these homesteads, we usually just watch people and usually, we don't give too much of a response about anything. We just sit and watch them, because it is true that the heart, this thing right here, is very deceitful. And it is desperately wicked. But I want you to understand something about the attitude of those who believe that they're coming to my house when an SHTF happens. Most people call this a zombie apocalypse. They have many, many different names for it. Let's speak to you. People who choose to ignore being prepared, I found in my experience that these people are very selfish people. Now, we must all admit that nobody really truly is going to admit being selfish. What we'll do is we'll mask our attitude, we'll mask our nature behind some smile or some veneer that we really truly are people of humility and we're humble. But I found that these type of people who refuse to prepare are very selfish people. They are responsible for their own shortcomings, but they want to put that responsibility on you. For those of you out there who have the attitude, I'm going to do nothing, or I'm going to join myself to this group right here, and when crap hits the fan, I'll know where I'll be able to go. The real question is this: do we really truly want to accept you into our community? You understand what I mean? Listen to that. You probably have never even thought about that before. Just think for a moment, all right? People by nature are very self-centered. They're very selfish, and it's all about them. And yes, this is the real you. And of course, they'll bring this attitude with them. They'll bring this spirit with them. And again, remind you, everything is cloaked under the veneer of humility and submissiveness. But it only takes a little while before these type of people will cause discord and confusion and literally tear up everything that has taken years to build. Let me give you the attitude of people like me. For instance, I'll just use Straightway as an example. I won't presume to speak for the other fellowships, but I presume or assume that they have the same sentiments. But let me just speak to you just from Straightway's perspective. Now, while I do love people, I do sincerely, and that's the reason why I get on here to tell you the truth, is because I love you. But I'm sorry to break the sad news to you. Straightway is not trying to in any way, shape, fashion, or form to conform to you. If you come to us, you will conform to us. And it's not open for suggestion. If you don't like it, you can kick the traces and head on down the road. Your choice, your decision, we're fine. Do you know the reason why I have this attitude and the faithful brethren that surround me to have this attitude? Is because we have over a 20-year track record of dealing with humanity. For 17 years, 17 and a half years, almost 18 years, we've been actually living on this land. This is our home. And for you to presume, because we know you or familiar with you, that you're going to have access to come and live here in a zombie apocalypse or crap hits the fan, and you've heard me for years give you warning, and you've done nothing to prepare whatsoever at all, is the epitome and height of selfishness. And you just will more likely going to receive a very rude, cold greeting at the front gate. Straightway, we're doing fine without you. We were doing fine before you, and we'll do fine after you. That's a painful reality. So the ideal is that if you're coming to a place where someone who has already made the sacrifice and the people who have already conformed to a tribal mentality here, to have a cohesive unit, a tight-knit unit and stuff, we're not trying to open up the suggestion box and allow you to insert your opinion and stuff, because we don't want to hear it. We've been through many, many years of opening up our hearts and allowing people to come in, only to have them trampled again and again and again and again. And I think after much experience, if we allow you to become part of our group, I think that we pretty much have gotten humanity down pat. There are some of you out there who used to be part of us. And when things get really, really bad, your mind is going to tell you, maybe we can go down there at Straightway and show some contrition. And maybe Pastor Dial and the brother and them will, have mercy on us. Don't bank on that thought. You had opportunity when opportunity was presented, but you squandered it because you wanted to go out and enjoy life, live in riotous living, or maybe you joined the group of slanderers and anybody else. But, when someone new comes, they don't understand how selfish humanity really, really, truly is. Your heart tells you that you are a good person, but that determination is going to be left up to myself and the elders, the brethren here on the land. We're the ones going to determine the condition of your heart, not you. Mind you, when crap hits the fan, I really, truly, and that's all I can do, is feel sorry for you if you have only you and just your family. It's really going to be a sad situation, because history proves and history shows that people have this uncanny ability to be able to join together in mobs. You know, those who have a central ideal, or they think alike. And just like you have gangs in the inner city, you know, people join gangs because a sense of belonging. And, you know, if you can't conform to what that gang's standard operating procedure is, then they know how to get rid of you or not have you a part of them. So you need to really, truly consider preparing. Because watch this. I want y'all to listen to me. Again, I'm going to be very frank here. My personal opinion about people like you who have refused to take heed to the warning. My personal opinion is that you are the most selfish and inconsiderate people in the world. Because you expect for people like me to support you. And many times you've already heard the message. You made the choice and decision not to do anything about it. And the reason why, because it wasn't important to you at that time. I mean, after all, you had to vacation. You had to go to movies, concerts. You had to have fun. It's about you, your family, your children. And while my, straightway does all the hard work, the heavy lifting, the preparing, you expect, this is what your mind tells you, that you're going, just because you know us, that you're just going to be able to move right on in and become part of us. We're no fools. We're not a charity organization. We have charity amongst ourselves. But you may consider yourself a good brother or good sister, but we may not share this high, lofty opinion that you have of yourself. It may not be the sentiment of the group around here. We are the ones that's going to determine if you are a charitable person or a trustworthy person. It's not up to you. You will not be dictating that to us. And if you are fortunate enough to be able to become a part of us, because we're a very serious-minded group, and if we accept you, then you are a very blessed person, because we have saw something in you that could possibly enhance the group. That's the reason why, and there's a reason why, that we really truly don't have many people living on the land of Straightway. While places are being prepared, people are really truly not prepared for the places. Meaning you think that you're ready to live on this community. No, you're not. Your mind tells you that, but you're not ready, because if you can't obey simple things, your mind is not going to be able to flip a switch and then all of a sudden conform and live the way we do. If I tell you to do something, it's not a suggestion. It's not a suggestion at all. If an elder or a sister who's been on this community for so long, we tell you to do something, we mean it. You may take it as a suggestion. See, right now we're in the green. We're in the green and stuff, and I'm going to let you know. You think that you're watching us, but I promise you, you're not watching us the way that we are watching you. And so I'm looking to see where your level of obedience is. I'm watching you, and including people that live here on the land. Just because, Straightway, just because you live here on this land, that doesn't mean that Pastor Dollar's not watching you. You're watching me, but you're not watching me like I'm watching you. Because as a leader, I have to preserve the sheep. I have to preserve the whole. And if I give directives, and I mind you, I'm never going to give anybody anything to do or any command to do that I'm not willing to do myself. I would never do that. But this is about the whole. This is not about you. This is about the tribe. Your selfish individual attitude or opinion or ideal doesn't fit. And we're not asking you for it either. That's just the way it is. And that's the way it's going to be. Right now, we can be a little lenient, towards a lot of people. But it's really, truly time to start seeing what people are made of. People who ignore instruction is just simply not the best people to have around. And mind you, listen to me very closely. Don't get offended. You can choose to not take heed to this warning. That's your choice and that's your decision. But remember, you're responsible for it. But if it's a time in the green that where you have opportunity to prepare and you don't prepare, I personally, and the Saints of Straightway personally, we're not willing to invest in you. We're not going to invest in you. Because when we're preparing for us. And I don't mind telling you, we're also preparing for a very small, select number of people who they may exercise some stupidity and ignorance. And don't assume it's you. Or they may be in a position where they can't prepare the way that we can. And yet and still our heart is very fond of them and we know them. But again, remind you, that's not your choice and decision. That's our choice and decision. We're investing in us and we're investing in those. Because the truth is, some of you could come down to this gate right here and you may be able to get here. And all of a sudden you expect when you turn on the charm or turn on the false humility. Now, I know it's an oxymoron, but I mean you that are spiritual understand what I'm saying. More than likely you're going to be greeted by myself or Elder Doug. And in a crap hits the fan situation, you will see a total different Pastor Dow, and you will see a total different Elder Doug, and you will see a total different brethren and a total different sisters on this land. You will see a people that you have never ever saw before, because now we're in survival mode. And in survival mode, we don't have time for attitudes, even amongst ourselves. I mean, let me let you in on something. In a shit hit the fan scenario, if I say something, it goes, period. It's law. It's not open to a vote or suggestion. You will do it. There's no room for dissension at all, period. Why? Because I have surrounded myself, after having hundreds of people live at this community, I only have a few. It sounds very familiar to the scriptures, don't it? Because many will seek to enter, but only a few are going to be able. You ever heard that before? I've surrounded myself by people who I can trust, and the jury is still out deliberating on some of you. Don't think and don't assume because you come to Straightway or you're allowed to come in and out of this gate freely that in a crap hit the fan scenario that's going to continue. See, you need to know yourself. And I know that many of you religious people out there will say, well, you know, Pastor Dow, it says in the Bible. And mind you, I'm going to say it again. We are going to be the ones to determine what the Bible says, not you. It says in the Bible, and the Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. Yeah, that word church means assembly, right? How you think the Most High added to it? I mean, after all, the rest of the book that you fail to recognize says, know them that labor among you and prove them and try them. I mean, really, I'll be in regular conversation and I will tell brethren to do something, all right? And it just seemed like something so simple, really. And what I'm doing is I'm testing, I'm trying their heart. Now, let's go back again. Myself and Straightway, we have a well over a 20-year track record of living a set-apart life and dealing with humanity. We should get credit for something, shouldn't we? But I promise you, as clear as you can see me and hear me now, you will see a different man. Then you won't even recognize that man in a crap hit the fan scenario. You won't know. You won't even know the people here at Straightway. You won't know us because conditions have changed. So, I mean, yeah, we have grace. We have mercy. We do right now. But when you refuse to prepare, when you refuse instruction, you are a selfish, self-centered, stubborn, obstinate, inconsiderate person. And guess what? You're not going to play on our benevolence. You're not going to play on our love, our charity, or our feelings. Our little heart is not going to go out for you because we have to protect the tribe, and we're going to do it. The naked truth is, you may come to this gate and you may be treated like the greatest enemy in the world to us. We have a standard operating procedure that is already etched and set in stone. I think more than anything, I made this painful video is because I truly want you to start considering yourself. You know, we live in a new era and a new time. Things have changed. Attitudes have changed. We see the world around us is quickly changing. And I'm telling you right now that nobody's not going to put up with you and your sorry attitudes, your sorry opinions, and your lack of discipline. It's just simply not going to happen. And you know, as I go and as the world gets, you know, is waxing worse, it gets more wicked, I find myself less tolerant to rebellious people. I really, truly do. I mean, why should I have to put up with it? I mean, I've lived a separated life all this time. Why should I have to put up with it? I'm just simply not going to. And myself and the brethren, we talk continually. And right now, many of you have received and continue to receive up until this point a lot of mercy, a lot of it. And I'm not making idle threats. I'm just telling everybody the way it's going to be. Because when these mobs get together, be it in cities or in little small townships, they're going to go house to house. And if you live just you and your little lonesome family, you finished. Because there's no way. I mean, listen to me. There's no way that a man, a woman, and maybe 3 or 4 children, there's no way that you can pull guard duty and protect your home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You see, this is the reason why it's very important to cultivate and build healthy relationships here and now. Here and now. You're not going to build relationships when crap hits the fan. Have you ever seen the attitude of someone who wants charity? The most humblest people in the world, but you don't know them. You don't know them. We are known because of the sacrifice we live in today. And you need to understand and comprehend. And whether you comprehend, understand or not, if you're not prepared, we can't trust you. We can't let you in. We can't let you in. We can't allow you to be a part of us. If we tell, even if you live on this community, we tell you something, we expect you to do it. Not because we're trying to rule over you. We expect the spirit of truth to rule over you, but you know, we have laws, just like regular society have laws. We can't just get into that vehicle and choose to ignore all the traffic laws because there's a penalty to be paid. How is it that when it comes to secular government, we have to obey and we must conform, but when it comes to homestead, when it comes to assemblies. All of a sudden, we supposed to allow you to do whatever you want to do? What kind of mindset is that? I tell you what, I think I've said enough here this morning to give everybody something to think about. Again, there's going to be two types of people. The ones who comprehend and understand, they get it. They understand where I'm coming from. But the simple, the foolish, the stupid, the ignorant ones, they're going to have theirs. They're going to have their comments as well. And let me end this video by answering the question, because the question was proposed to me, and the question was asked. Pastor Dow, why is it that black people as a whole do not prepare? Well, there's a bunch of reasons. Number one, pride. Number two, there's a thing called cognitive dissonance. They don't, they've never experienced it in this generation, hardships. They love taking the pain and the ownership of slavery, but they've never had a whip on their back. So they use it to, heighten anger. And that's how, they get people to join together, because they all agree with the anger. But even amongst themselves, they can't be trusted. The reason why they don't prepare is because up here psychologically, mentally, many of them don't have the mental capacity to, because, we're very passionate, passionate people by nature, but very few blacks actually really, truly sit down, think things through, consider, have a tactical mindset. Try to see what the future holds and then start preparing. Most people, of my natural people, they live for the here and the now, and they don't care nothing about tomorrow. But they do expect, and that's why I call it a welfare mentality. They do expect for everybody to make the way for them, and then they can move right on in it and bring their unconformed mind, unconformed attitude, opinionated spirit, and expect the whole world that they just happen to find themselves in to conform and be involved, with their choices and decisions in life. But most of them simply don't prepare because they just assume that life is going to go on as usual and things are just going to remain and stay the same. I'm saddened, believe me. I'm very saddened because, there's only a few people that I know of that have a color hue that actually get it. Matter of fact, I'll give you one name, Demcat. Demcat been preparing for a while, a long time. He's someone that get it. He gets it. He understands it. Now on the spiritual part, I don't know if he gets it or not, because I have not sit down and spoken with him. But from what I can see naturally, he gets it. But when you look at the prepping community as a whole, it's a fact there's more whites that do it than blacks. Period. That's just a fact. But be it in the black or white community, we're all going to be faced with the same thing, same issues. We're going to have to deal with it. We're going to be faced with people that's going to show up at your front door, at your gate, with the long, droopy puppy dog eyes, wanting to get in while they have lived life up. And again, they've been vacationing, been to the beaches, been to the malls, been to the movies, living it up and stuff. And some of them may even come to assembly and fellowship with you. They're happy and giddy every week. And I do stuff like this. Have you bought any canned goods this week? Oh, no. I go, oh, okay, I understand. Do you understand what I just got finished doing? Most of you don't. Do you understand what I just got finished doing? Or I'll say to someone, I think it'd probably be in your best interest, but I want you to consider, but I think it'd be in your best interest if you do this. Give it a month or two, it'll go by, I'll come back and say, hey, by the way, Hey, did you ever do this? Oh, no. I mean, Pastor, no, we just ain't had time. We just, been busy, been this and that. And I go, oh, okay. Believe me, I understand. I understand. Life is very pressing. Can you comprehend what I just got finished doing? I mean, I am really, truly opening up the doorway of wisdom here right now in this video. I'm having a lot of compassion just by making this video. Or I'll say, hey, I want you to do this. Then I'll give it a little time and I'll see you again and ask, did you do that? Well, no. I thought about what you said and stuff, and I decided to go this route and do this. Oh, okay. Now, mind you, you're not in the position whatsoever at all to do what I suggest, period. I mean, after all. But the one thing about it is we are all under authority, are we not? For instance, you go to your place of employment and they tell you to do something. How many times can you continue to keep giving them excuses before they get rid of you? Or how many times can you show up late? I mean, after all, you didn't think it was right to show up. You didn't think it was no big deal. You showed up late and you just sashayed in. How many times can you show up late at your place of employment and expect to continue to stay on? There's a lot of things to consider, isn't it? So, in the green, you may think I'm speaking in suggested terms, and I probably am, but I'm watching you. Because, the Bible says, obey them that have a rule over you. And if I give little small things, I'm checking your level of obedience. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm checking to see where your heart is. And I know that many of you, well, I don't feel like it. Okay, then guess what? I may not feel like dealing with you. How about that? I mean, after all, you put your heart out there. You put yourself out there and you don't mind expressing your opinion and stuff. What are you going to do when it's my turn to express mine? I want you to remember your attitude and your spirit. Some of you have said, hey, I've been to meetings across this land, and I've taken anywhere from 20 to 60 ounces of silver with me, and I've literally given out 1 ounce silver coins in the meetings. Most people, and I explain to them exactly what silver is, what it's about, the historical value of it, what happens in a world without rule of law or collapse or an economic collapse. I explain it to them. And I'll give it about 3 or 4 months. I'll come back to those areas, the same people I've given a silver coin to, and I said, you probably ought to consider going out and buying some. I would ask them, how many of you have actually went out and purchased one of these coins since the last time I was here, when I gave you understanding? I'll usually get maybe 1 out of 60. I mean, including the so-called men of God. They don't even buy. They don't even believe it. But they always have their hands sitting out there to receive that 1 silver coin. Yes, they will. We want one. We didn't get one. And then I ask them, see, because the conviction didn't sink down in. And I go, wow. Now, you know what that tells me? That tells me that one more likely is the person that I would want around me in a scenario where crap hits the fan. All the rest of them, hell no, I don't want them hypocrites around me. No way. See, it's little things like that. Even today in relationships. Hey, we're charged to prove all things. Even today, even on the community, around the community and stuff, I still prove. I still test. I still try the brethren and the sisters here all the time, continually. I want to see if they're going to relax matters. That's what I want to see. I want to see what the attitude is reflect. I watch them. I watch their labor of love. I watch many of them lack of labor. I watch the excuses. I pay attention. Yes, I do. Again, I'm a public figure, and everybody assumes because all eyes are on me that they don't think that I have eyes in my head and I'm not looking right back. Don't make that mistake. Please don't make the mistake. I promise you, I am a very kind-hearted man by nature. I'm a very benevolent man by nature. I'm a very charitable man by nature. I'm also a very passionate man by nature. But don't think for 1 minute that my mercy and grace is limitless. No, it has its limits. And when it runs out, I would tell you the truth about Pastor Dow. I don't go back. I have told people I'm finished and I'm done with you. And they have tried to come back. They have tried to come back. They have tried to actually call, email, write. I even spoken to them on the phone, and guess what? They get nowhere with me because they have squandered their day of grace. They have squandered every single thing that there was or what have could have been. They have really messed it up. They messed it up really, really bad. I want you to pass this video around. I'm going to leave the comments open because I know that everybody is opinionated in this world right now. Don't forget the scope of this video. Do not make the mistake that everybody is going to put up with you. Don't make the mistake. Do not make the mistake thinking that your opinion matters. What you need to do is start getting the attitude, how can I add to the tribe? How can I add to the assembly? How can I be a benefit to those who already obviously got it, understand the message? That is the real truth right there. You need to ask yourself that question. .9% of you just simply not ready and never will be. Simply because you will not change this mind because you're too stubborn and too selfish. But I promise you this. I love you. I love you enough to tell you the truth. I also love you enough to get rid of you too. Because my mindset and my attitude is for the preservation of the whole. I'm interested in the people who are already in the fold. Now, if one of them try to go out, I'll do whatever I can to bring them back. But I'm not trying to put a lot of interest and stock in those who are out trying to come in. We're in the green. You had opportunity. Most of you just simply not going to do good in a world without rule of law. And you know what? I actually have people who are not in the faith that I trust more than people who are in the faith. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example of one, okay, that has been a friend through thick and thin, no matter what. And this friend has loved at all times. And this friend will have a place here at Straightway. If we are ever in a world without rule of law, and this man does not profess the same faith that I do, this friend is J Snip 4. He is one man that Pastor Dow is preparing for, bar none. He will have a place. Him and his little small family, they will have a place. Providing they can get here, they will have a place. And that is a friend that has stuck closer than a brother. Some of you don't have that doorway I think you ought to check yourself. And that's the truth. And that's the truth straightway.